Okay, let's get into what these specific skills are. When a beneficiary makes a request for a distribution, the trustee is asked to look into how is the beneficiary doing in certain primary financial skills as well as secondary skills, which we'll talk about in a minute. The primary financial skills are live within your means. You can ask them, this is, and we'll talk about the meetings that happen between a trustee and a beneficiary in a minute, but these are basic skills. Are you living within your means? If you have chosen as a vocation to become a teacher and you have a distribution from the trust and you have your income distribution from the trust and you have your salary by being a teacher, how are you doing it living within those means, proceeding on the path that you've chosen? Just because your sister decided to be a private equity person in New York and lives one lifestyle that's consistent with what they're doing, how are you doing living within your own means? Are you managing spending with being able to save at the end of the day? How are you doing at managing debt and credit? Are you having problems with your credit card? This is a very common area, and it's not uncommon for a beneficiary, and I've seen this a number of times, where they'll come to their trustee and they'll say, I've got $26,000, I've got $45,000 of credit card debt, and it's killing me and I need to get it paid off. This could become contentious without having this type of guidance for a trustee, because a trustee might just say, well, you know what, you've got to figure that out on your own. The trust is not here to bail you out. Well, actually, the trust may be there to bail them out, but the question that in this environment and the language that's in this trust, the trustee will say, well, we're going to work out a way for you to pay this off, but we're also going to pay for some education on how you should be managing debt and credit, and we're going to help you monitor that so that you avoid this happening in the future. That is the much more humane, and I mean that in the sense of human, way to handle someone whose life has come at them a little fast and they weren't prepared for what occurred, and now there's a learning opportunity and an opportunity for the trust to do something to enhance their life by reducing the debt load and helping them clean it up, but also enhancing their lives by giving them some skills so that they can avoid it happening in the future. Fourth skill is maintain accounting of income, assets, and spending. Just some basics about how do you account for your salary and your assets and how you spend your money. Again, the trustee is part of the guidance is if they say, I'm struggling trying to do this, is to help them learn. Maybe they get enrolled in a QuickBooks course that the trust pays for. It's these granular, right down where the rubber meets the road things that can make a difference in beneficiaries' lives, regardless of how much money they make. That overspending by trust beneficiaries has been a chronic problem, which you can see, and a lot of it is because the trust isn't directed or suggested to help them figure out what to do with that. Now, those four are what go into maintaining a budget. As you notice in here, there's nothing that says develop a budget. A budget is the ability to have a budget is contingent on those four underlying skills. And this is something that Jim Grubman, the psychologist, and the Gallows realized, that too many trusts directed that they learned to budget, but they didn't tell them what goes into learning to budget. So those skills are specifically in there. Then the other two primary skills are managing assets via investing, either by yourself or learning how to hire an advisor. I have to tell you, this is a really important skill that a lot of people don't get, and that's how do you hire an advisor? I could do a whole discussion on that, but just suffice to say that when the trustee talks about investing by self or others and is given guidance to help the beneficiaries develop the skill of working with advisors, they're taking a huge step forward. And last, how are you doing at generating income for spending if it's needed or desired above what your income distribution from the trust is? Those are the primary skills. Then some families feel it important to ask about this secondary skill. And the secondary skill is this idea of giving back, as some people phrase it, philanthropy, charity. I'm a believer that actually this should be expressed differently, and I think it should be expressed differently. Do you feel you're having an impact on things you care about? Because at the end of the day, philanthropy and charity are about impact. They're not about giving things away. They're about having impact. So when a beneficiary can start to feel, I can impact something I care about, and this trust can help me do it, that's a pretty powerful skill to see develop in a beneficiary.